working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines, 16 more Filipinos aboard a quarantine Diamond Princess cruise ship in Yokohama, Japan, tested positive for the coronavirus disease, bringing the total number to 27, the Department of Foreign Affairs said Monday. The APEC PSU said the current sentiments of consumers and investors amid the virus outbreak could translate into significant economic and financial risk in the Asia-Pacific. From an emissions-reducing model jet that looks like something from a sci-fi movie to electric aircraft and sustainable fuel, the aviation industry is ramping up efforts to go green as consumer pressure grows. 16 more Filipinos aboard a quarantine Diamond Princess cruise ship in Yokohama, Japan, tested positive for the coronavirus disease, bringing the total number to 27, the Department of Foreign Affairs on Monday said. The Philippine government is ready to provide them with other forms of help aside from the assistance provided by their employers. The Philippine Embassy in Tokyo remains in close coordination with relevant Philippine and Japanese government agencies, representatives of the World Health Organization and Princess Cruises to ensure that the needs of the Filipino crew and passengers are met and to facilitate their eventual return to the Philippines. Possible repatriation will need clearances from the Japanese government.
Actually, dun ho sa confined space na yun, we are considering that all of these people would be considered for quarantine once they come back, ang ating mga repatriates. Kung ano po yung kino-consider ngayon ng Interagency Task Force as a facility for them to be quarantined, pag-uusapan pa po. Ngayong hapon po, may technical working group meeting regarding this matter, and tomorrow there would be this high-level Interagency Task Force meeting to have this discussion and hopefully have magkakaroon tayo ng final agreement. They are being regularly tested, no? That's part of their monitoring. Pero yung bago sila pumunta, bago mag-disembark or pumunta or ma-repatriate sila, meron ho silang protocol. We are considering everything so that we can properly manage po pagdating nila dito kung ano po ang dapat para naman ma-minimize natin din yung risk natin na makakapag-transmit sila sa iba kung sakasakali. At present, 453 patients under investigations have tested negative for the 2019 novel coronavirus, and there are only 22 cases with pending test results.
A scramble intensifies to trace passengers from a U.S. cruise liner allowed to disembark in Cambodia, despite at least one traveler later being diagnosed with a deadly coronavirus, as Cambodia on Monday afternoon treated a few dozen of the passengers to bus tours around the capital, Phnom Penh.
Yeah, one here. Welcome, and you're flying tonight to Niagara?
We are. Well, yeah. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.
100 Americans rescued from a cruise ship quarantined off Japan because of the new coronavirus arrived back in the United States Monday for 2 more weeks of medical seclusion. This as concern rose over passengers who dispersed around the globe after leaving another ship in Cambodia. The COVID-19 virus death toll exceeds 1,868 in China, where it has infected more than 72,000 elsewhere. Hundreds more have been infected, and the virus has sparked panic buying, economic jitters, as well as the cancellation of high-profile sporting and cultural events. With fresh cases emerging daily in Japan, the government has advised citizens to avoid mass gatherings and has canceled public events, including celebrations in central Tokyo for the emperor's birthday and the amateur portion of the city marathon, affecting around 38,000 runners. In the Chinese capital, Beijing, municipal authorities have ordered citizens arriving in the city to self-quarantine for 14 days, the presumed incubation period of the virus. State media said China may postpone its annual parliamentary session, which has been held in March for the last 35 years. Outside China, the biggest cluster of infections is from the Diamond Princess cruise ship off Japan's Yokohama, where an additional 99 cases were revealed on Monday. That brought the total to 454 diagnosed, despite passengers being confined to their cabins during a 14-day quarantine. Russian ambassador to the Philippines Igor Kovaev on Monday met with Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Filimon Santos Jr. in what was described as introductory courtesy call. This took place at AFP General Headquarters in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Captain Jonathan Zata said in a statement. It said the meeting was an introductory courtesy call requested by Ambassador Kovaev to General Santos, who assumed the position on January 4. The AFP accorded arrival and departure honors to the Russian envoy, which is customary in all diplomatic visits. Meanwhile, Natalia Linovitskaya, press secretary of the Embassy of Russia in the Philippines, said Kovaev's visit is routine and is part of efforts to intensify cooperation between the two nations. In a statement, she added Russia and the Philippines have their own absolutely independent course in the bilateral cooperation in military and military technical spheres. The current status and prospects of the Russian-Philippines military cooperation were among the issues discussed during the bilateral meeting of President Vladimir Putin and President Rodrigo R. Duterte in October last year. Now they are just implementing the agreements reached last year, adding they are just doing the work on the way to develop bilateral cooperation between nations, including military cooperation.
Net25 is now available on OSN, the largest entertainment network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 shows live and on demand
Anytime, anywhere.
on any mobile device on OSN Play.
I am teacher Sally, and this is Kid Kwento, one of Net25 Kids' online shows. Kid Kwento is now on TV. You can watch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 to 4:30 p.m. Also watch Anong Sa Inyo with Ate DJ every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 to 4:30 p.m. Sa Kid Kwento, ang aming motto ay, let's all read to succeed! Hooray! Kita-kita tayo ha! Bye-bye!
Welcome back. Asia is facing billions of dollars in losses from a collapse in Chinese tourism since the outbreak of a deadly new coronavirus. Tour guides, small workers, and restaurant staff are all feeling the burn as Chinese, the world's biggest travelers, stay at home in the middle of a global health crisis.
อาจจะต้องปิดกันละอาจจะต้องกลับบ้านชั่วคราวจนกว่าจะมีแขกนะคะแล้วก็อาจจะลงมาใหม่แต่ว่า ยังไม่รู้นะคะว่าจะเป็นยังไง
差了很多很多，本来一天可以跑个3000多块钱，现在一天呢，我从早上到现在才跑了700多，一天差了有2000多块钱。
The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Policy Support Unit has released its statement on Monday regarding the coronavirus disease 2019 and its impact to the region's economy. The APEC PSU said the current sentiments of consumers and investors amid the virus outbreak could translate into significant economic and financial risk in the Asia-Pacific. Although the APEC units said it's still early to quantify COVID-19's effect on region's economy, it said the impact is larger than the experience during the severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS 18 years ago. It said the world today is a different arena. China accounts for 21.4% of world GDP or gross domestic product compared to around 4.5% during the SARS outbreak. The APEC PSU added as the global supply chain and economy are deeper and more interconnected, the epidemic amplifies the already fragile global economic environment due to trade tensions, Brexit, and environmental catastrophes in the region. It said there is already an observed decline in travel and tourism, an associated adverse impact on retail and hospitality receipts, as well as transport sales are expected to reverberate around the world. But the APEC PSU further said the region's learning from the SARS experience is that Asia-Pacific can bounce back in this challenge as long as economies cooperate and introduce the right measures. Authorities must start thinking about the long term to minimize lasting harm to the economy and society alike. The APEC PSU said during this time of heightened uncertainty, monetary and fiscal authorities could consider maintaining accommodative policies to support economic growth. In the medium to long-term periods, economies could look at structural reforms that ensure immediate action by governments, build stronger healthcare systems, and allocate resources for research and surveillance of infectious diseases. APEC is composed of 21 member economies, including the United States, Australia, Brunei, Darussalam, Canada, Chile, China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Peru, the Philippines, Russia, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam. Concerns on the coronavirus disease 2019 continue to affect trading in the Philippine financial market, but local stocks and the peso both managed to end Monday on a positive note. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index rose 0.62% or 44.85 points to 7,326.85 points. All shares also ended with gains after it improved by 0.45% or 19.59 points to 4,338.70 points. It was, however, a mix among the sectors, with holding firms industrial and financials rising by 1.35%, 0.61% and 0.33% respectively. On the other hand, mining and oil fell 0.41%, services 0.30% and property 0.05%. Volume was thin at 782.6 million shares, amounting to 7.84 billion pesos. Gainers led losers at 107 to 77, while 49 shares were unchanged. Regina Capital Managing Director Luis Limlingan said while reports on COVID-19 continue to come out, the numbers are now lower due to various measures taken by Chinese authorities to address the virus spread. He also cited Chinese officials' planned program to help businesses vis-a-vis the impact of the virus. Another reason for the risk on sentiment is the White House's statement that the problem on the virus is all under control. He noted the local unit ended almost flat at 50.57 from 50.56, closed Friday last week. It opened at 50.58, weaker than its 50.47 start in the previous session. It traded between 50.61 and 50.52, resulting in an average of 50.565. The currency pair is seen to trade between 50.50 and 50.70 against the US dollar on Tuesday.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 is now available on OSN, the largest entertainment network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows live
and on demand anytime, anywhere on
any mobile device on OSN Play.
The elderly undeniably serve as a significant part of society as they impart valuable knowledge and life lessons. Free haircut and hairstyle, massage, as well as facial and skincare treatments, entertainment activities, and other freebies. At EBC Cares, elderly people are treated with respect and appreciation. We believe that they should be cared for, protected, and valued. EBC Cares, enabling a better community.
Welcome back. From emissions-reducing model jet-like that looks like something From a sci-fi movie to electric aircraft and sustainable fuel, the aviation industry is ramping up efforts to go green as consumer pressure grows. In an era when teen climate activist Greta Thunberg opts to travel on an eco-friendly boat and flight shaming is all the rage in her native Sweden, air travel's reputation has never looked as dire. Aviation accounts for 3% of climate-damaging carbon emissions globally, according to the European Environment Agency, and the world is experiencing record heat waves, wildfires, and storm surges made worse by rising seas. Sustainability was the buzzword last week in Singapore at Asia's biggest air show, which was powered by solar panels, with manufacturers and airlines trying to outdo one another on vows to become more sustainable. Some environmentalists, however, have criticized such pledges as greenwash or stunts that will do little to mitigate the damage caused by the vast quantities of jet fuel burnt every year.
I think the pressure is quite big. I think it is quite big. And I think the industry has understood. But they need time to react. They cannot do it in 1 year. It's not possible to do. Electric only, long distance, it would need another type of battery. Nowadays, batteries, you will not be able to store enough energy to transport people over long distance.
Well, biofuel is more expensive because the supply is not able to match demand worldwide. So provisioning the right quantity of biofuel is vital. But more importantly is to find alternative fuel like synthetic fuel that would not be impacting on environment in other dimensions.
Nearly all airlines are taking the sustainability agenda very seriously, and their heads of sustainability are working with us to find pathways to increase the availability of sustainable fuels, look at how electrification can impact them, particularly for much shorter range routes, and also looking to more and more efficient engines and airframes.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco and I am one with 25.
We are